And we're live with another podcast. Mike here with Jeff. A lot of Flyers talk today. Not much really going around in the league since we last talked. A couple of injuries have happened, but there's not really been anything.
There's been some stuff
like
going around
Jacob
the league.
Silverberg was placed on IR and everything, but outside of that, there hasn't really been too much since Monday when we podcasted. So.
The only major things, in my opinion, is that the Ottawa Senators have assigned defenseman Cody Ceci to their active roster. With the move, the Senators are now at 22 players on the roster. Excuse me. The Golden Knights have assigned right wing Alex Tuch to the active roster in order to create a roster position for Tuch. They actually they first placed defenseman Derek Engelland on injured reserve. Other than that, I think this is actually the biggest one. Robbie Fabry of the St. Louis Blues has been assigned to the San Antonio Rampage for conditioning, and I think that's going to be huge for them to get Fabry back.
Oh, yeah.
Especially how they've been playing.
Outside of that, it's mostly going to be a Flyers talk, so which has pretty much been every podcast, but it's going to be the whole show this time. But, yeah, I guess we can start off by talking about that 4-1 loss to Colorado on Monday night.
Yep.
It was an ugly one. There were very few bright spots. I would say
I think one
only
of them
ones that really stand out to me were, again, as I said in the last podcast, Travis Sanheim and Rack Gudis.
Yes.
They got more time, and to be exact, they got Travis Sanheim 20 minutes, Gudis 18 minutes. Actually, they had the second most minutes.
That is impressive, and also I think that's
Provorov
great to
had
see.
28. Ghost had 38. Then it was Sanheim. Then it was Gudis. Haig had 16:54, and Folan barely played at all at 11:57.
Okay. A couple things to note for ice time. Well, now we know why Michael Raffl only played 6 minutes and 44 seconds of ice time.
I don't know why Lindblom only played 8 minutes.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to get into. But Michael Raffl is out 4 to 6 weeks with a lower body injury.
Yes.
Probably broke his left foot or something. So
Yeah, most likely. It's probably the similar injury to JVR.
Mm-hmm.
Because it pretty much looks like the same play. Well, not really. I got them mixed up with the Ghost getting hit with the puck off the
The
boards.
Flyers are just...
Because, the injury bug likes to hit the Flyers. Because the Raffl
Yeah.
one was weird, because I guess because it wasn't that big of a hit, because it was a hit into the boards, but I guess his leg was pinched or...
Oh, I thought it was a block shot.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
He got hit into the boards.
Okay,
and
that
then
makes
he
more
came-
sense.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really see the whole game. What day was this? This is a couple
Monday
days ago.
night.
This is Monday, yeah. 2 days ago. Yeah, I watched some of it, but it just went from bad to worse to ugly.
Here, let's see if I can bring it up and show you.
But this is a big loss for the Flyers because, and if people are wondering why I'm saying that and why you're agreeing, is because he's actually been one of the very few bright spots, especially on the penalty kill for the team. So it's gonna be kind of tough to replace him for the next couple of weeks. But also, so he only had 6 minutes 44 seconds, which was very surprising at first. But then you realize the injury. But then the very surprising one was Oscar Lindblom getting 8 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time. I don't understand that.
Now that it's mentioned, I didn't really notice him that much at all.
Right
in that game.
It's tough because I haven't.
I guess not even because Raffl didn't get hurt until what, the third period maybe, late second. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like this is me personally, but I haven't noticed Lindblom a whole lot on the ice at all recently. Like, I barely hear his name get called.
No, I've noticed that too, but that line was been so good that I don't know how I didn't really notice that either.
Right.
Because it was him, Wheel, and TK
Yeah.
that have been great together. But now he seems to be the
odd man out, perhaps.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Yeah, because I gotta find this in my long list of it.
But
so the Flyers lines. Well, before I do get into that, we gotta finish going into the game.
I can't find the.
That's all right.
Actual,
No worries.
play itself, but he was sent to the boards where I guess, his legs must have gotten pinched or something. Or
yeah.
Because right after the hit, he couldn't put any weight on his one
not good,
skate,
yeah.
and then he.
I don't know what.
He couldn't even get. They stopped to play because
he was just crumpled on the ground. Yeah. Wow, that is pretty bad. Anyway,
but,
so the scoring it was 4-1. The Avalanche scored 3 goals. Felt like right off the bat. Mikko Rantanen in his third of the year. Then Matt Nieto in the second. Gabriel Landeskog in third. Before Nolan Patrick got the Flyers on the board, his second of the year, assisted by Travis Sanheim and Jake Voracek. Then Mikko Rantanen again.
The only time where the Flyers looked to have like any life in that game was like the last, like right after they scored that goal to Rantanen's goal.
Right. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just another tough loss, but unfortunately the trend continued in that game where the Flyers gave up the first goal again.
Yep, but it wasn't in the first 10 minutes.
Right, which is no, it was. It was 3 minutes 23 seconds. I thought
I was saying there was 3 minutes left in the game.
No.
Our first period.
Right, I gotcha. But no, 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah, that's a tough line. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was on the power play too. So
yeah.
Yeah, already know that's
and power play for the Avalanche was 1 for 2. Flyers 0 for 3 again, struggling on the power play. But one of their strong suits, game in and game out, the face-off circle. This time they were 62%.
I think I heard in that game. I don't know if it's changed because it's not Wednesday or how close it was, but they were saying that the Flyers at like 50-some% are the first in the NHL in face-off percentage. Okay.
I mean, honestly, I'm glad that they're doing this well on face-offs, but
that's great. But you even saw in the game because
this game against New Jersey,
goal to Rantanen and Landeskog both came off a face-off win.
Really?
It was then turned over on the Landeskog goal. It was turned over by Giroux.
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah, he went in on a breakaway and scored pretty much. And Rantanen, it was a play by Simmons that he mishandled, and then they went down and scored in the empty net.
Yep.
Yeah, and also, this might have been Travis Sanheim's best game this season.
I think so. I think
he had a point. He assisted in the Patrick goal.
Right.
He for not going 0 for 3 and how poorly the second power play unit has looked this season, he actually played pretty well in it.
Mm-hmm.
He was great at keeping the play in the zone, staying in the offensive zone, and not really making that many mistakes, very few. Same with Gudas. Gudas had a great game, too.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think...
He had 4 hits, if you want to take that into account with him.
Yeah, and
3
I think
blocks.
One thing for Sanheim, I think besides Scott
I think
Laughton,
it's just... I think
Travis Sanheim has been one of the best Flyers for this team this early on.
Mm-hmm. That's why I felt that Gudas and Sanheim should be playing more, even though I feel like the only reason why they were playing Sanheim more was, 1, because he obviously was playing well, and 2, they were down by goals, so Sanheim's offensive, and Fullen and Haig aren't really, so...
I can't figure this team out.
No, I can't figure out that. I can't figure it out either, but they got to figure something out.
But I will tell you, so the lines, so after looking at that, here's what the lines were at practice today. Giroux, Couturier, and Travis Konechny on the top line. Scott Laughton, Nolan Patrick, Jake Voracek. Third line, here's where it gets interesting. Oscar Lindblom, centered by Jordan Wheel / Mikhail Vorobiev, and right wing Wayne Simmons, fourth line, Weiss, Laterra, Knight. Mm-hmm. So Knight essentially takes over the Raffl spot.
Yeah.
But what's going on with that third line center?
I don't know.
I don't...
Like, when you see those, when you see that's Vorobiev/Wheel, you'd think it's either going to... I would have thought it was either Wheel or Vorobiev sitting, but...
Right, and someone... there goes my ears. Someone was saying... I can't remember exactly who it was. This is going to take a little bit to find, but someone was saying that they figured that... oh, here it was. Dave Isaac tweeted out, Mikhail Vorobiev has taken every drill rep.
Yeah.
Oscar Lindblom and Jordan Wheel have taken turns being odd man out on the third line. So you would think that either Oscar Lindblom or Jordan Wheel are the obviously the odd man out, but there's indications that Lindblom will be set.
Yeah.
Against Boston.
And also, if you look at his 8 minutes, it seems to be but also at the same time, Jordan Wheel didn't play that much either. He hasn't
played at all really lately.
He played 12 minutes, but
one of my other questions is that I wonder how happy Ron Hakstol is with the fact that how little Jordan Wheel has been playing. Because
I think he has some say in that too.
I think you're right. I feel like he does.
I know everyone likes blaming Hakstol because he's the easy target to go after. But
and plus he's the head coach, and not everyone...
But you have to believe Hakstol has some say in who's in
I think that's fair to say, for sure.
Like, I don't think it's like Moneyball where it's like, you should play this person who's not playing them.
Well, guess what? I'm going to trade you so I can play this guy.
Yeah. Well, no one's going to take Laterra, so...
Right.
But you get the reference I was making, though, right?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying.
It doesn't seem like he's like indifferent or disagreeing with Hakstol's method, and I think he spoke after the practice yesterday, too. Yeah.
No, after the practice yesterday, he certainly. I don't. It's just. It's just a little frustrating to kind of watch and listen for all of this to happen because there are certain players that I think we can both agree on that should still be in the lineup and others that should not be in the lineup, especially on the special teams.
I.e. the names we just mentioned on that third line.
Yes.
They all should be playing. But if you look at that fourth line, which is going to be Corbin Knight taking over for Raffl, and then Laterra and Weiss. Laterra can kind of get, I guess, if you want to have him as a center or whatever, some veteran presence, whatever they believe in. But Weiss I don't get. I mean, Weiss didn't have a terrible game. He had a couple of chances, actually, but didn't really amount to much. But still. I still wouldn't be playing Dale Weiss.
No, because he just... I don't know.
Because when he played Weiss... Because Raffl was the odd man out because he had to play with Weiss and Laterra. Because then he didn't really have much to go off of from that.
Yeah.
I know.
This is just...
It kind of goes off of our rant from yesterday. Or
there is a quote from
Monday.
Hakstol, though, that Bill Military just tweeted out 30 seconds ago. Excuse me. We're a game under 500. Boy, that's mediocre at best. Now you have to back away and really look at the performances and evaluate the performances of your team. But I think if we want to be honest with ourselves, the performance of our team equals our record right now. What do you think of that quote, first glance?
Say that again.
So this is from, excuse me, Coach Dave Hakstol. Bill Meltzer just tweeted this out a minute ago. Quote, we're a game under 500. Boy, that's mediocre at best. Now you have to back away and really look at the performances and evaluate the performances of your team. But I think if we want to be honest with ourselves, with the performance of our team equals our record right now. So clearly, Hakstol's not thrilled.
I'd agree with that. You're not playing great hockey, so
it's
you being under 500 isn't a surprise to anyone.
No, it's not, and I think
the most surprising thing to me is that you have not lost in overtime yet.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that...
I'm more shocked
because
that
the one overtime game they did go
compared
into,
to
they
overtime.
won. But
Right.
just because the Flyers like going into overtime and everything. But
Basically.
shit,
But-
I'd take those because you'd at least get a point out of it. But because they're still looking to try to get back-to-back wins. They still have yet to do that in this season. And we're already at the 24th of October today. It's almost the end of the first month of the season.
Yeah. And things aren't looking too pretty.
And
Here's my thing.
Boston is a good team.
Boston's a great team. And I think you gotta give them all the credit in the world for
but the
turning
Flyers
their
also
team
have
around
this weird
fast.
thing. No, I guess not. Cause
What's that?
I was going to say do good against the good teams. They
Yeah.
beat New Jersey, who started off hot.
But then can't
they
beat
beat
Colorado.
Vegas. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They can't beat Colorado, but they beat Vegas, but they also
lost to Vegas, yeah.
So, yeah. And they also lost to Columbus. So I'd say the teams are about average, which I'd probably put Columbus and maybe Colorado at this point. The Flyers aren't good against, but I'd even put New Jersey in there too. So, I don't know.
Right.
And my favorite, though, even though it didn't really happen last night, but it always seems like whenever there's like a struggling streak, like Vegas, for example, how they start off the year slowly.
Very slowly.
It always seems to be the Flyers that ends those droughts for those people.
Yes. it typically does.
Yeah. You can even take when they played Arizona last year, they took so long to get their first win, and then they came to Philadelphia, and they got their first point.
Here's another quote that Charlie O'Connor tweeted. This is from Ron Hakstol, the GM of the Flyers.
Ronnie H.
This is yesterday. Charlie sent it out. Quote, everything needs to be better. You can take the odd exception. Scotty Lawton's been pretty good the whole year. Every game he's worked hard, he's executing. End quote. Then Charlie O'Connor put underneath, I like Lawton a lot, but when he's the odd exception to, quote, everyone has been underwhelming, end quote, things are bad. What do you think about that quote? And how do you think that's accurate or?
I agree with Charlie.
Yeah, you kind of do have to in this point. Like no, because there's nothing to take away from Scott Lawton's game.
No,
he's been fantastic.
That's nothing to take away from Scott Lawton. It's just that everyone else has been underperforming this season. Again, if you look at last season, Couturier and Giroux came out on fire.
They did. So I don't. So here's another interesting thing.
You said Konechny was going back on the first line most likely.
I did, yes.
I guess they did kind of move him back at some points on Monday nights, so that's not that surprising. Maybe that can jumpstart him a little bit.
Well, I do have two suggestions. If he's not already on the PK, is Lawton on the PK or no?
Lawton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I would hope so.
He's been on the PK.
Okay, because it's just
either him and
Coots,
or him and
Giroux,
and sometimes Raffl.
Right. It's just I just want to make sure because I had to think about that.
That's not
another.
True. Hold on.
Okay,
the
ahead.
one goal that New Jersey scored on the power play. I remember the people that were out were Scott Lawton, Yuri Laterra, Christian Folin, and Robert Haig.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the best duo, but we were kind of. We could.
Another one thing I do want to talk to really quickly to you about. How would you feel about someone like Travis Konechny going on the penalty kill?
They tried him. They tried him there in preseason.
They did.
Yeah, for like a game or two.
Okay. Clearly, it didn't work out.
No, because they're thinking if you put TK there's. Maybe you can get more like short-handed goals or whatever, but
yeah,
seeing how well Lawton's done, he's been great.
He's been superb.
Yeah, especially on the PK, I would say. The one bright spot out of that whole thing is that. But we kind of talked about that to kind of segue into the special teams a little bit.
Yep,
we were talking about before we got on the podcast, we were talking about Ian LaPerriere and the PK and everything. And I was talking about how the Flyers, that's not a good PK. They're back at 29th overall. But the one thing they are okay / mediocre at
Yeah.
is they can do okay at preventing teams from getting in the zone.
Right.
That they can do well with. But it's once they get into the zone, that's where they start struggling. Because once they're in the zone, then they don't they aren't aggressive at all.
Yeah, and we talked about this before the podcast started. You mentioned there was one player who is quote unquote too aggressive on the PK, and that's
Corbin
why
Knight.
he's not there. Yeah,
Corbin
Knight. And I think at this point in time, you got to switch
his
something
thing
up.
is-
You've got to switch something up. Consider the fact that your opponent kill is 29th in the league. You need to change something. It is not working right.
At least that's what I thought. I saw someone tweet that out.
And
I'll look at that sad stat in a second.
yeah, no, you're good. But basically,
I'll look at both of those stats actually for PK and
you
power
got
play.
to.
Because power play hasn't played great either.
No, it's just.
The first power play too, because the last time the power play scored was the second line of TK, which was also set up by Travis Sanheim.
There you go. But something's got to give here. You got to change something up. It's clearly it hasn't worked. Didn't work last year.
I was wrong. Sorry. 30th.
Oh, that's fun.
30 out of 31.
Nice.
The only one that has the worst one is Florida.
That's fun.
That's 66.7. The Flyers are 68.8.
Okay.
And for the power play, they are
15th or so.
20th.
Darn, so close. Not really.
17.6. Tied with Buffalo.
Joy.
That's not great special teams. And
Not
for
necessarily.
for the first unit that's that great at making plays and everything, that should be better. Because usually what it's been is when they can't produce 5-on-5, it's the power play that helps them get jump started a little bit.
Right.
But when that's not really helping, because we were hoping that maybe after the New Jersey one, he can take some of the momentum out of that one into Colorado, but it didn't really translate because the Flyers did the same thing they were doing at the beginning of the season, or all season so far pretty much. Turning over the puck, bad covering and everything. Not much offense to go about, but... And, like I said, Colorado is a good team.
Which is honestly remarkable for them, because considering the fact of where they were last season before they traded Matt Duchene, the moment they traded him, their team instantly, and I mean instantly...
Oh, Colorado?
Yeah, got so much better.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why. I'm
but
not sure.
How pissed would you be if you were Duchene, though?
Yeah, right. Oh.
You went from being pissed that you were on Colorado because you thought they weren't good, or
and
whatever.
he wanted to get to a playoff team, like
and
he thought
then he
in Ottawa.
then he got traded to Ottawa, and they are 6th in the Atlantic with 9 points. Boston has 12 points,
Yeah.
tied for first with Toronto and Montreal. Still surprising people. Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal, you can technically say, might be in first. They've played one less game. They're 4-1 at home.
Pretty remarkable.
They're 4-1 at home, 1-0-2 away. They're 5-1-2.
That is pretty remarkable.
Toronto's 6-3. Boston is 5-2-2.
Yep.
And then I guess it's not the worst thing because
What's that?
you're going to have to deal with the Marchand, Bergeron, and Pasternak line, which you're just going to throw the Couturier line out there.
Right. You kind of have to because, imagine a fight TK versus Marchand.
Well, the Flyers won't allow that. Couturier would have stepped in, so he wouldn't actually be fighting.
I know, but that would just be fun.
It would be, but...
Something to talk about really quickly is another quote. This one was from Mikhail Vorobiev. Bill Meltzer also tweeted this one out about 2 hours ago. It was about, basically the conversation was about, the benching.
Yeah.
He said, quote, "I was able to learn and I was able to talk with the coaches about my play in shifts. He explained to me what I could do better. I was able to watch our games from upstairs and see how systems work with the team. I saw how to play in the D zone and neutral zone. I want to be better every day. I want to work harder, and I just want to win every game." End quote. So he absolutely has the right attitude for the benching, but I just hope it's sooner rather than later
that he's back in the lineup.
Yes,
that's what I thought when Raffl went down. I'm like, okay, so they'll just put Vorobiev back in because I thought he was ahead of Knight for if someone was hurt, but
right,
Knight's clearly taking the spot for Raffl, so for Vorobiev to then come in is going to be between someone on the third line because it doesn't seem they're taking out Weiss anytime soon.
Basically. Don't know why, but...
And this isn't anything against Knight either, but that fourth line isn't the best. After what you had last year with that fourth line, with Lear, Lawton, and Raffl, it's not really the same.
It really is, and it's... At first, you thought it was a step up, but it's...
Yeah.
It's...
Honestly,
it's mostly due to injuries.
Again, it's because JVR's hurt.
And that too.
And I think I saw somewhere that he was going to skate on Tuesday or something. Or
yes,
maybe you said
James Van Riemsdyk should be skating soon, according to the reports.
If for Neuvert, because I think we talked about him briefly, right? Coming back, he's activated.
Yes, Michael Neuvert is going to go to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms for a conditioning stint.
And if all things go well, he could play
Saturday
against the Islanders.
Yes.
So, I guess there's some. I don't know if it's the best, but there's some
reinforcements.
Some, but that makes it a lot more interesting for the minors.
Yeah. So who gets the start in Boston? Would it be Calvin Pickard? Brian Elliott?
I'm sticking with Pickard. Or not Pickard, I mean Elliott. Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant Elliott, I said Pickard.
Yeah, you're good. And that's fair to say. It's
Pickard, just like his first game, because what was his first game against?
That was...
Against Ottawa, right? That was Pickard's first game?
Yes.
He left 4 goals by, and he didn't look terrible, but
there's definitely a few goals where he let up that literally he had no chance. There's
but
like 1 or 2 that he should have had.
Yeah, then you look at the Columbus game, and he didn't play well at all.
No,
he had a lot of soft goals.
There's 1 goal against. It was the Columbus game. It was that one move. I forget who pulled it off, but. What was that like one incredible move that someone pulled off against like the Flyers defense? Kind of just
the one where he fell.
Yeah, who was that? That was
what's his face?
Come on,
I know who.
I know exactly who it is. I just can't. I can't think of his name right
Duclair.
now. Yes,
Anthony Duclair.
Yes.
He should have stopped that one. He also should have stopped the fallen one when he fell. He should have stopped that goal.
Yeah,
too.
that one.
His 5-hole. In case you weren't, because both goals, I'm pretty sure they went 5-hole.
I think you're right.
His 5-hole is not great.
No. But something that did happen, the Cam Atkinson goal, that breakaway, that toe drag, he had no chance at all, and he got undressed so badly. Oh, my gosh. That Atkinson deke was just gorgeous. Yeah. But it's got to be Moose.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, he's the Flyers' best goalie right now. I think Alex Lyon is close right now.
He is, but I think he's staying put in Lehigh Valley. Because that's what I wanted to bring up. What's even the Phantom schedule right now, or coming up? Because...
So they got a few games. They got a game October 27th, it looks like.
Schedule.
Yeah, so their next game...
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I lied.
Okay,
they're actually playing against the Hartford Wolfpack.
They play tonight, and then they play Saturday.
Their next home game is until November 3rd against Binghamton.
Neuvert's playing tonight then.
Yes, I would assume so.
Well, if they say he can come back on Saturday. This is the only game between Saturday and now.
Exactly, because the Phantoms also play Saturday, so that would make sense. So Neuwirth's most likely getting the start. After
Which
that,
probably means Hart will probably get that start on Saturday.
Hart, Lyon, Stolar is one of them.
Yeah, they're probably still going to go with Hart for that. Yeah,
I'd assume so because he's the future goalie.
Yeah, exactly.
So you would want him to get him as much ready as he can.
Mm-hmm. Or get him as much looks as you can with
Right.
Yeah, it's been a really slow start.
It has been, but I think
I mean, this is kind of what I was thinking when they lost JVR until most likely for still another month. I don't know when he's going to come back, even if he still starts skating. Hopefully that's a good sign, and he comes back earlier. But I was just thinking, as long as the Flyers can go 500 without JVR, they're about 500. They're 4-5 right now. They're under 500. But still, if they can stay around 500, I think they'll be fine until JVR comes back.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Once JVR comes back,
it's going to change things a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to change things a lot because he looked great in the first game.
Because I think he'd probably take, when they had Simmons up there, probably JVR on the first game.
And there's, just like Claude said a couple minutes ago, to Sam Carchidi, there's a lot of hockey left to play. We want it to be a consistent team, and it's got to start soon. Why not start in Boston? That's a great quote right there from the captain himself.
Well, he was also the same one that they said they were going to win after the embarrassing loss. So.
Yes.
And they won, so.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for him to hear, or for him to sound off and say, yeah, we're going to win 20 games in a row, and watch it just happen. That'd be great.
Let's hope. The Flyers haven't been the best in the past couple seasons, having won, even though they won 10 straight last year. They're not the best at being streaky with wins.
Yep.
But they have been, by saying that, after I said that, they were a streaky team, or have been a streaky team. Where when they're bad, they're bad.
I think they start off
when they're bad,
slow.
they're bad, but when they're good, they're great.
Yes, that's a great way to look at it. I think they start off slow, but
every year they've started off slow.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like every year in the past few years, especially, they're starting off slow, but then they pick up the pace.
Like I'm not worried at
why.
all.
Yeah.
Because see how close this whole Metro is? That leading is 11. The Flyers have 8 points. So that's why it doesn't mean anything at the beginning. But I understand why at the beginning you want to go hard or you got the win. So then at the end of the season, you're not scrambling for points.
Right.
Or fearing, which the Flyers have done in the past, which it makes it kind of interesting towards the end of the season. But at the same time, you like to have a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, for sure.
But still, it's still only October. So, I mean, there's like Drew said, there's a lot of hockey left.
Yes.
But, yeah, oh, cool. Never mind. I was about to say, the Flyers have been overtaken by Detroit by most goals allowed.
Nice.
39 Detroit, 37 Philadelphia.
There you go. Oh, poor Red Wings.
But, I mean, the offense really isn't that terrible either. The goals for is 31. That's most in the Metro.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It is. Because it seems like the offense, for some reason, they put up 31, but I still feel like they haven't put much much offense this season.
Right.
Or at least struggled to find it.
But I do want to preview tomorrow night's game really quickly.
Sure.
So the Flyers are in Boston against the Bruins, and this is actually kind of cool. Their dads are going on. They're on the road trip with them. They're actually, a little fun fact: the Flyers players' dads are actually, at least I don't know how many of them, but some of them are trying to go to get tickets to tonight's World Series game in Boston at Fenway Park. So I think that's pretty funny.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. So,
all right, want to do the fun prediction first that we were talking about for the podcast?
Yes, I can't wait for this.
All right.
Would you like to explain?
No, because the Flyers have played terrible in the first, and their PK is awful. What are the chances the Flyers don't let a power play go by and don't let it go by in the first period?
Man.
Or at least not losing in the first period.
Yes. Oh gosh, it's.
Because there was a
I'm
stat
putting
that
my money, and also the other thing. I think I mentioned this on air earlier. If not before air, the Flyers in their last 9 games in Boston, they've won 1 of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, they also won. If you don't count preseason, but they won the last preseason game in Boston. I mean, it's nothing, but they won it.
There you go. Regular season, I'll put it that way. I'm putting my money on. But you got Bergeron, Marchand, Pasternak.
That's a good first pair or first line.
They're bound to get the power play goal. I'm gonna say the trend ends in Boston. The Flyers will get the first goal. Someone's got to step up. I think Corbin Knight, if he plays,
No.
which he should. I don't see why not though, but he should get a goal.
So you're thinking the Flyers are gonna win?
I don't know, because their trend lately has not been great with the first goals.
Always having to come back.
Yes. Man, this is so tough.
Because at the moment, in 3 games played at home, the Bruins are undefeated. They're 2-2 and fun. 2 away.
Nice.
But they're undefeated at home.
That's fun.
I'll go on a limb just because I hate Boston. Flyers win. It's going to be a high-scoring game.
You said that every time.
Not the last time.
Oh, that's
true. It was 3-1. The Flyers were going to lose.
It was 4-1, so it was close.
Or it's just going to be a blowout by Boston.
Yes.
Because that seems to be the every time the Flyers play Boston is to just kind of blow them out.
Right.
I'll say it's going to be a 4-3 Flyers win.
Okay. I'll say 2-1. 2-1. Flyers get the first goal, but Boston wins this one. Pasternak's scoring easily. He's a scoring machine. And because he scores, I feel like every time the Flyers play him, Marchand's going to score the other goal.
Ugh, I hate him.
Yep.
I hate Marchand.
Flyers' lone goal will be Corbin Knight for his first career NHL goal.
Okay.
If he plays, though. If he plays.
Mm-hmm.
If he does not play.
Well, he's definitely going to
play. He's okay.
I mean, if we were talking about it, that fourth line is tacked. It's the third line that was the question mark.
Right. Forgot about that. But yeah, so Corbin Knight, he'll get his first career NHL goal.
I'm going to say Giroux scores, Couturier scores, and Patrick.
There you go. You said 4-3, right?
Yeah, I need one more. Lawton.
Okay, there you go.
And I'll probably say for Boston, Marchand, because he scores all the time against the Flyers.
Like, I swear, the last couple times that the Flyers played him,
I say he scores twice.
Oh, there you go. That's a good prediction.
He'll score twice, and Krejci will score. Because he's another guy that scores against the Flyers a lot, too.
Krejci. The dinosaur.
Yeah. My standout star going off that would be
ooh, the standout star.
Yeah.
I missed that. Nice.
For the Flyers will be or at least something to just keep an eye on, would be Vorobiev if he's playing.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to change it up for Boston, actually. My standouts, I'll give my Flyers standouts are in a second. My standouts are for Boston is actually going to be...
For Boston, for me, it's Martian.
David Backes.
Okay.
And then for the Flyers, Sean Couturier.
Okay. And with that, I think that's where we'll end it today. I said will. Okay.